Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We're following two major stories in our area today. Police have now released the disturbing details behind a Minnesota teenager's abduction and incredible escape from her captors. But before we get to that, for the first time since taking over as president, Donald Trump pays a visit to North Dakota. Today's brief stop in Mandan was far more than just a visit, though. President Trump traveled to an oil refinery in Mandan, where he spoke in front of a crowd that started at 500 invited guests, but grew by a couple hundred more. Valley News Team's Mike Morgan was there to hear the speech and joins us live. Mike?
Andrea, as you can see behind me, they are broken down the area where the president and a large gathering came to be this afternoon. It was the president speaking on tax reform, the first time that he's spoken about tax reform since last week when he began everything down in Missouri. The president, and he wants to simplify the tax code. He wants to cut taxes for the middle class. He wants the tax code that restores competitive edge, and he wants to bring back wealth from overseas.
Our painful tax system has become a massive barrier to America's economic comeback. It really is. We're penalized. It costs us millions of American jobs, trillions of dollars, and billions of hours wasted on paperwork and on compliance. Our tax code is a giant self-inflicted economic wound.
While the president talked about tax reform publicly, there are those behind the scenes that mentioned that maybe the trip here was for political purposes, to stump, not for himself, but for someone here in the state. We'll talk more about that tonight on Valley News Live at 6. Reporting live from Mandan, Mike Morgan, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. North Dakota was very kind to Donald Trump during the election. Almost 63% voted for him. Now to our other top story today. We're learning more about the abduction, assault, and incredible escape of a Minnesota teenager who was missing for nearly a month. Police say 15-year-old Jasmine Block was abducted from her home on August 8th and was found yesterday running through a field in rural Grant County. Police now say that the three men arrested yesterday abducted and assaulted her over the 29 days she was missing. Authorities say Stephen Powers, Thomas Barker, and Joshua Holby are being held on probable cause for kidnapping, false imprisonment, and assault. Specific charges will be determined by the Douglas County Attorney. Investigators say Jasmine Block knew Barker, and he approached her outside her home, asking for help on the night of August 8th. Block agreed and was taken to Barker's home in Carlos, Minnesota. That's where police say she was tied up with zip ties, repeatedly assaulted, and threatened with weapons by the three men. Block finally escaped late last week when she was left alone for the first time in 29 days while they traveled to a rural area of Grant County for lunch. Block ran for help, trying several homes before she swam across part of Thompson Lake to find a home where someone could help her. Alexandria police say they're still investigating the incident, and investigators are asking farmers in Pope, Grant, and Douglas counties to check their cornfields for damage associated with vehicles driving through them, and for anglers at Thompson Lake to report any clothing located floating or on the shoreline. Fairly quiet today for us in the valley after a chilly morning. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for a look at tonight's forecast. Hutch.
Wow, below freezing for some, Andrea, in eastern Polk County. Fosston recording a low of 30 degrees. It was 35 in Fargo, a chilly way to start the day. It's been cool, but we've seen some sun, particularly west of central Minnesota, where there are a few more clouds. Fargo looks very quiet this evening. We'll slip into the 50s by bedtime tonight. And the good news is the wind will be light, so not bad. We'll call it comfortably cool outdoors this evening. Likewise for Grand Forks, a few clouds in the northern and eastern portions of our viewing area. And the only chance for any sprinkles tonight will happen in and around Lake of the Woods. I'll have details on how we close out the work week coming up here in just a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Back to our top story of the day. The president's visit to North Dakota also comes at a very busy time for the president and on a day when Trump sided with Democrats over Republicans, backing their plan to pass Hurricane Harvey relief funding, raising the debt ceiling and fund the government through mid-December. The president spoke to reporters aboard Air Force One today about the deal.
We have an extension which will go out to December 15th.
That'll include debt ceiling, that'll include the CRs, and it'll include Harvey. The amount of money that to be determined, but it'll include, because everyone is in favor, obviously, of taking care of that situation. So we all very much agree.
Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan slammed the deal, accusing Democrats of playing politics with both the debt ceiling and the disaster. 15 states and D.C. filed a lawsuit today over President Trump's plan to end a program protecting young immigrants who came to the U.S. as children, protect them from deportation, known as DACA. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson, a Democrat who earlier this year sued President Trump over a travel ban affecting mostly Muslim nations, announced the lawsuit at a news conference today. On Tuesday, U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions said the DACA program will end in 6 months to give Congress time to find a legislative solution for the immigrants. The decision affects roughly 800,000 such dreamers, as they are called. New developments today in the Grand Forks double stabbing from earlier this week. A man is now facing 2 attempted murder charges in that case. Grand Forks police arrested Jordan Parisian yesterday as a suspect in the stabbing of a pregnant woman and her boyfriend. While Parisian is now being charged on 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of aggressive assault, 2 counts of burglary, and 1 count of criminal trespass. Earlier this week, one of the victims of the stabbing spoke to Valley News Live in an exclusive interview about the attack.
She went to go open the door, and there was a skinny gentleman at the door staring at her with nothing but just hate, and just decided to start throwing a knife into her stomach and her chest.
Authorities say there is still no motive for the crimes. Hurricane Irma slammed into the Caribbean today with record force on a path that could take it to Florida by the weekend. NBC's Morgan Radford has the latest for us from San Juan, Puerto Rico, where many people are staying in shelters as the dangerous storm approaches.
This is one of the 456 emergency shelters that have been set up all across the island. You can see hundreds of families here, their bags packed, sleeping on cots. This shelter is specifically run by the city of San Juan, and they've gone full on emergency mode. Bottles of water, prepared meals, backup emergency generators, and many of these families unclear when they can return home.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to be over. It hasn't even come and you want it to be over. It's really nerve-wracking.
Many families here are spending the night, and they've only brought the necessary items they knew that they could carry. Meanwhile, FEMA and the National Guard say their #1 priority today is going to be saving lives.
We're also getting word that Hurricane Irma has killed at least 2 people as its path points to Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti before possibly heading for Florida this weekend. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. It's a never-ending argument for many of us, Sam's Club or Costco, and many more of us don't have a membership to either place. So what makes those club stores or your local grocer your produce pickup spot? Valley News Team's Bradford Eric tells us you can score great deals depending on what you're looking for.
Sam's Club has been around for years. Costco is the new flashy store on the block. But which one do you prefer?
It saves me time from having to come in all the time. Otherwise, if I bought, like, say, just a small pack of toilet paper, I'd be here every week buying. So I buy large quantities.
I have found that Costco runs a little on the higher end. I have done research like online and stuff, and I think Sam's Club is cheaper.
Folks at Sam's Club in Fargo say it's convenient, and they feel like they're getting a great deal.
It's great for families that are large in number because they can buy in bulk.
I have 3 kids at home, and they eat everything I bring into the house, so it's cheaper for definitely eggs and milk.
Shoppers at Costco say the store brand Kirkland is great, and you get money back for having some membership levels. Discount grocer Aldi is shouldering into the Metro's food scene. Construction is well underway. While some feel Aldi has the cheapest prices, believe it or not, that's actually not always the case. Sam's Club and Costco have some better deals, but the difference is it's in bulk. This comparison from PassionatePennyPincher.com shows things like cooking spray, butter, and laundry detergent are cheaper at the club stores. If it's convenience you're after, big club stores are your best bet. If you don't mind going to the store often, however, your local stores like Aldi and others are your best option. Bradford, Eric, Valley News Live.
We have put that full comparison on our website. Just visit valleynewslive.com and click on this story. It's time to step out and help those fighting cancer. The annual 61 for 61 and Roger Maris Cancer Home Run Walk is tomorrow. This is one of the biggest fundraisers the center holds, and money raised goes to equipment, research, and unique services. Patients from the center say the care that is given is like no other.
You know, the doctors are great. My nurse navigator came up to see me. Everybody that I came in contact with at Roger Maris Cancer Center just was so kind to me. And they really wanted me to get healthy. They wanted to cure me. They wanted to save my life is what they wanted to do.
To donate online or look at the schedule of events, go to valleynewslive.com and click on our hot button for a link. If you're in the market for a small